Starting off, me and Tanjiro are running in the Infinity Castle, and then all of a sudden Akaza comes crashing down from the top of the Infinity Castle, like the full-on crasher he is, and just like in the movie, he's gonna swing at us, well, specifically at Tanjiro first. Then, Tanjiro is going to be cutting off his arm and his face, and dodging his initial 2 attacks, just like in the movie. They're gonna talk for a little bit, talk a little smack, and then he's gonna start charging up. So far, everything is pretty much the same, to be honest. Yeah, pretty much the same as it goes in the movie. But this is when it actually starts getting different now. This is where my strategy starts to play out. But before I continue, I have to go back to before the Infinity Castle, specifically during the Hashira training arc. This part is extremely important, aka this is part 1, profiling. I would be talking with Tanjiro and tell him to give me as much information about the fighting style and the techniques of Akaza, whether or not he uses weapons, and even his personality. Yes, personality will play a big part in this strategy. Upper Moon 3 is one of the most powerful demons in the Demon Slayer universe, so we need as much information as possible, and we need to make a full-on profile so we can understand everything about him to give us any advantage whatsoever. Now, out of the 2 of us, Tanjiro is the only one who has actually fought in Upper Moon and survived. Now, that same Upper Moon is still not dead, okay? He did not fight it and he did not kill him. Okay? He escaped and he killed a Hashira. So there's a high chance we will encounter him during this final battle. I would tell Tanjiro to share as much information as possible as he can remember, so we can get a full grasp at what we're to expect in case we do run into him, which is very, very high. And considering how the 2 left off at Rengoku's fight, yeah, it seems pretty high that Akaza really wants to run the 1v1 with us. Well, in this case, the 2v1. Anyways, during this time, I, and so would Tanjiro, would catch onto this fighting spirit detection thing Akaza has. If Tanjiro is able to figure this out in the middle of a fight for his life, he can figure it out when he's just chilling and with another Hashira, and I'm pretty sure Giyu is not dumb. Okay, I'm pretty sure they can figure this out. Because, once again, Akaza is a really big yapper. He really likes to talk. He's very, very arrogant. He likes to talk a lot. This will be very, very important in defeating him. Now, I believe if the Demon Slayers during the Hashira training arc just communicated more information with each other, of course this could have been done off screen, but judging from both the manga and the anime, it doesn't look like they communicate as much information as they should, especially about the Upper Moons that they have already encountered, aka Akaza being one of the strongest ones. We should talk about him and like how strong he is and what the fuck he can actually do. I would also be asking about Akaza's techniques. What do they look like? How destructive are they? What do they smell like? Do they sound a specific way? Etc. And I would train by myself and with others to practice on counters against each technique. Yes, counters to each one. Now, this is how I'm gonna build a whole profile against Akaza, and this way I'll be ready to fight against him if the time ever comes, when we go into their lair and we encounter him, which in this scenario we did. Part 2, Strategic Retreat. Now, when Akaza starts yapping and charging up, we are not just gonna fight him. No. Yes, I know what you're saying. Yes, we are not, I repeat, not gonna fight him. Instead, we are going to run and retreat. We are doing a strategic retreat. Alright? Now, hold on and hear me out. Judging from the apparent beef between the two, Tanjiro and Akaza, based on the personality type Akaza is, from what Tanjiro told me, and assuming Tanjiro is not brain dead, Akaza's personality is 1. Very aggressive, 2. Extremely hateful, and 3. Extremely arrogant, as I said before. All that yapping from Rengoku's fight really exposed the type of personality he has, and this is very, very useful. With this type of personality in mind, he's not just gonna stay there or go after the other Slayers. Oh hell no! This guy is gonna follow us. He will absolutely follow us, no questions. Especially if Tanjiro is going, okay? Because he's got real beef with him. Now, the counter to this, by those who disagree, would be like, oh well, what if you get tired and stuff? Well, you're gonna get tired no matter what, and this part of the plan, since it's based entirely on defensive maneuvers, right, will get you tired, but the least hurt. And there's 2 of us, so it makes Akaza trying to chase both of us down extremely hard. Alright? This will also cause Akaza to become more arrogant because that's part of his person. This will consciously make him hold back on us. Well, actually I should say unconsciously hold back. Don't want this guy doing what he did in that fight with Giyu. Okay, when Giyu got the mark in the movie, Akaza, he turned up, okay? His power went up, his speed went up, and the amount of techniques he was doing all went up, alright? Here's the thing, we don't want that. We don't want him doing all of this shit, okay? We don't want him doing that, alright? Nah. Alright? If Giyu had been fighting like that the whole time, it would have matched his speed and aggression, and it would not have ended well, alright? And in a scenario like that, it's not good because demons, they have infinite amount of stamina. So yeah, they would have been cooked. Now, the counter to this would be something like, oh, but he would not hold back because of Tanjiro. In the movie, Tanjiro was talking a lot of crap to him, okay? And Akaza still did not go all out on him, okay? Because if you see the way he was fighting Tanjiro versus the way he fought Mark Giyu, it's a huge difference. If he fought like he did Giyu with the Mark, and he fought the same way that he fought Giyu with the Mark, and he fought that way against Tanjiro would have been dead. Alright? Plain and simple. Now, in my scenario, I think he would do the same thing and hold back his power because we want him to think he's that good, he's that powerful, and we're that weak. We want him to think that we are weak. Well, we are weak, but we want him to think that we're super weak, that we're running away, and that we're so scared of him. Put him into a false sense of security, and in this scenario, I predict he's not gonna be going all out, which is what we want. Now, we want him to hold back, and we also are not going to go all out. And yes, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but like I said before, imagine it like this. If you're fighting someone and it looks like they are locking in, and then you're obviously going to lock in, right? Obviously. Versus someone who looks very, very weak and fighting half-ass. I would say half the time, depending on the person, of course, you too are going to be fighting the same way. Half-ass, or just playing around. You're toying with them. Akaza, based on what he does in the actual movie, he demonstrates this trait multiple times. He adapts and he likes to fight at his opponent's level. Most of the time. Okay, most. Only when it starts getting dangerous does he actually turn up. Like during the last part of the fight when Tanjiro cut off Akaza's hand and, you know, he got serious right then and there. He was no longer playing around. So, we are setting Akaza up to be extremely arrogant, okay, and to be unconsciously careless with his attacks. and we are protecting ourselves with the least amount of damage to our bodies. Part 3. Search and Yapping. When retreating, me and Tanjiro need to find a better environment to fight in. Akaza has extremely destructive capabilities, so best to avoid places with lots of obstacles, alright? We want an open field, this way Akaza's destructive powers won't be as effective, and we don't have to worry about stuff falling on us, alright? We eventually find one, and yes, there is something like this in the actual Infinity Castle, because in the movie Giyu and Akaza, they end up in an open area during the first engagement. Now, we stop and face Akaza, and now I predict Akaza would be pretty annoyed, but at the same time basking in his own power and putting him into a false sense of security. So far, the plan is working. Then that's when I am telling Tanjiro to lock the fuck in and pull up that transparent world and selfless state, my guy, while I fight Akaza. BTW, I am just making it so I am as strong as Giyu here. Alright, well, I'm putting myself in Giyu's shoes to be more specific. Yeah. Anyways, I fight Akaza, but no Mach, just regular. I predict Akaza is going to go easy on me just like he did with Rengoku, alright, because of the reasons I've already stated before. Okay? But before that, knowing Akaza's a big yapper, I would try to start a conversation with him, either by talking about power or the, ideology of demons. No matter what though, he likes to talk about fighting and power, so I would make conversation about that. Yes, he would absolutely engage in that conversation because he has already done it with Rengoku, okay? They had like a whole 1 minute, 2 minute conversations in the beginning, middle, and end of the fight, okay? Yes, he would absolutely engage in it. And because, right, in the movie, he also did it with Tanjiro, okay? And during this time, while I'm talking with Akaza, I'm gonna tell Tanjiro, hey, come on, man, pull up, okay? I'll keep him distracted, alright? Tanjiro is going to remember, he's gonna get that flashback, and during that time, we can also rest our bodies from all the retreating and running away. Then after maybe 1 or 2 minutes of yap, Akaza will finally probably stop the talking and the engagement finally begins. Part 4. The Get Back. Now the actual fighting begins. Me and Akaza are throwing down. He's throwing techniques, but I counter them with great accuracy due to me knowing about them beforehand and training to fight against each of the known techniques. Obviously, not all of them were shown in the Rengoku fight that Tanjiro would be able to tell me about, but I would still be able to react as I know the expectation of the type of attacks he does. I am not even going for the head at this point. I'm just keeping Akaza busy while Tanjiro sneaks behind using the selfless state and see-through world. Okay? And then, right before Tanjiro starts coming, I lock the fuck in. And I use my Mach, alright? I blitz Akaza. This changes the whole tempo of the fight, alright? Because the whole time, we're going at maybe like half speed. But now, I'm going 100% speed. So this is going to catch him off guard very, very quickly and very unexpectedly. Okay, I gotta practice on that fucking word. I'm very, very sorry. Let me continue. Catching him completely off guard, and I am going to be cutting him at specifically both of his arms. Why? Because he is a hand-to-hand fighter. Yes, he uses his legs, but 90% of the time he's using his arms. Right, so I took away his primary weapons, and during this time, Tanjiro, at the same time, this is very, very important, at the same time, He comes in with his transparent world and his hacks abilities, okay, all of his hacks that he got from his flashbacks, and boom, he cuts off Akaza's head. Now, part 5, dealing with the head. Okay, Akaza can regenerate his head, but I just want to mention, if Tanjiro and Giyu were in better conditions, they could have sliced Akaza to pieces, and in this scenario, me and Tanjiro, me being Giyu, we're not really that fucked up compared to the condition in the movie. So I think this would have and this would enable us to cut him down because we're way less injured and we have so much more energy. Especially with Tanjiro still awake with the hacks that he has, the transparent world and the selfless state. And boom, yeah, that's how we beat Akaza the smart way. Yeah. The part 5 is it's not really part of the strategy because no one could have really there's no way they could have predicted that, right? But they should have had a plan. No, they could have, yeah. They should have had a plan just in case Akaza survives the beheading, because that's happened with Upper Moon 6 and Upper Moon 4. So they should definitely they should have had a plan to deal with Upper Moons that survived the decapitations, you know. But yeah, this is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. I hope you guys have a great day. Love you all. Thank you. I am trying to reach 5K subscribers before the end of the year, so please subscribe, and aloha and bye. Thank you.